Some people are going to disagree with this, and that's fine. But it should be well known that they've been controlling the weather since the 50s and 60s. Straight up. You can look this up. I live in the UK, and not a lot of people here know this, but the World Air Force was conducting weather experiments in the 50s and 60s. They were dropping ice and salt particles in the sky, trying to create precipitation. And they say, as if they do with a lot of programs, that the program ceased to exist now. But think about it, bro. From the 50s and 60s to now, that's what, 60, 70 years? Like, that is more than enough time to perfect the technology and work out every aspect of it, to the point where if you look at cars from the 50s and 60s to now, you can only imagine what they've got hiding from us. One of those things being weather control. And some people might ask, why would they control the weather? What's the point of that? And maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't, but at the end of the day, is to further push towards an agenda. All right, a global agenda. And that agenda ultimately is control through all different kinds of means. But there's a famous saying that, whoever controls the weather controls the world. Yeah, man, they can make it rain. And in the UK right now, there's a drought, and there hasn't been any water going for about 60 days, more than 60 days, 2 months. That's pretty much unheard of. I'm telling you now, bro, if they are causing this, if they want to make it rain, they can. They really can. They've got the cloud seeding technology. They've got different programs. There's different weather programs which can influence the weather in different areas of the world, not just the UK, in America and other places in the world. And a lot of these places, the locations of some of this technology, 9 times out of 10, it's on some off-limits research facility or military base. And I'm not a scientist, I'm not going to sit here and claim to know how it works. But if you can control the weather in certain areas and make a large group of people who live in that area think a certain way about the weather, think that the weather is changing because of certain behaviors of theirs, or through certain avenues in society, then you'll be able to implement policies and laws which ultimately favor the ones setting them, And it's crazy because that shit's happening on a daily basis. If they want to bring in I'm telling you now, bro, if they want to bring in some kind of law, give it 10, 20, 30 years like they've been doing already with this whole global warming stuff, causing flash floods. And it's not just holding droughts. When I say control the weather, they can create floods, they can create droughts, they can create tornadoes, they can create all kinds of different weather phenomenon, hurricanes, you name it, bro. And I'm telling you, part of the reason they use that, like I said at the start, from that control, being able to implement policies which favor the ones setting those policies and favor the ultimate New World Order agenda. Yeah. And secondly, money. Would that be my money? If you have access to technology to create a catastrophic event, a natural disaster in a certain part of the world, that part of the world is going to need money to rebuild. They're going to need to borrow money from the banks, from the government, or borrow it from somewhere. And with borrowing that money comes interest. And ultimately, I believe the ones who do possess that technology are the wealthy top 1% of the world. Right? And they can use that technology and create those disasters, create millions of pounds, millions of dollars worth of damage, which ultimately will need to be borrowed, and profit is essentially made. And it ties into different philosophies that these rulers are into, from order out of chaos, the phoenix rising out of the ashes, and ultimately, when you've got that much power and that much, where money isn't an issue, money doesn't concern you, making money is not a priority, how you pass the time. I really do believe that these powerful people, they're into it out of fun, that they have fun creating these natural disasters in different parts of the world, and they sit back and watch humanity suffer, and they gain energy from watching humanity suffer, watching humanity complain and moan, watching the doomers and the chuds argue and complain about the weather and all kinds of different stuff, like they feed off of that. So for them, it's seeing the world burn, seeing the world in chaos. To them, taking aside the occult, meanings and rituals in some of the weathered events, like the fire ones especially. They do these rituals, these weather rituals, to as a source of entertainment for them as well. We can agree to disagree, but yeah, I don't want to get too far off track. But that's my take on the weather, on the whole weather thing. You know, it's this time of year. Whether if you're living in a part of the world where there's a drought or not much water, or if there's a flash flood or anything, bro, just know I'm not saying there's no such thing as nature and natural weather cycles. There are, of course, but extreme weather events which are abnormal to that part of the world, I'm inclined to believe, you know, that that is being created through technology. And where does this technology come from? It's technology that's been perfected over the last few decades, since the 50s and the 60s, with the help of stolen technology from people like Nikola Tesla, who, you know, designed different technological devices which were intended for positive purposes for us, but instead, once they were gotten rid of and silenced, was taken and used, and is now being used for negative purposes. And one of those purposes is weather manipulation and weather modification, from hurricanes to fires to droughts, you name it, bro. To being able to make in winter, make parts of the area of the globe which would never freeze over. They're able to do that, make it freeze. And again, I'm not no scientist, bro. But I'm just telling you, it doesn't take a scientist to see the truth and do a bit of research and realize that there is technology out there which has these capabilities, and there are people out there which possess this technology, and not for the better of humanity, but for the worst. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into it. But Vietnam as well, the Vietnam War. Apparently, the U.S. government used a lot of weather control and made it rain constantly and flooded out a lot of the jungles and stuff during the Vietnam War. You can look this up yourself if you want. Yeah, man. I felt this kind of, you know, topic would be relevant, especially if you live in the UK right now. Some of my family members, I want to say a lot of things which they wouldn't fully get. But maybe out there's this one of you, maybe some of you out there listening resonate with my words, and maybe we're on the same page. But yeah, if you're still listening, thank you as always. Catch you in a bit, and I wish you love, light, peace.